Hey, we're live. Tingle, tingle, tingle. Coming right out the chute. Can you make it, sir? It's half pint. Half pint. Rolling radio. Sound change. TWP popcorn. Welcome. Sky. Guru tangles. Diabolical Debbie. It's quiet, listener. Welcome to the show. Scully's gonna get hobbled tonight. How's that sound? It's Misery Chastain 2.0. Jonica Tingles. Jonica Tingles. Jonica Tingles. Izzy Pop. Yeah, I'd like to welcome you to the House of Thrillers. I'm Scully, the author that reads to you. Tonight, we got a great show planned for you. It's Misery, starring Scully and Izzy Pop. The grand finale. Ocho. I think I hear somebody coming in backstage. Who is that? I think Elvis left the building and Izzy showed up.
I tripped him as he was leaving.
Dingle Pop.
Can y'all hear me? Check.
Yeah,
Code
you
check.
sound good.
Wait, check. How do you know what I sound like? You're not listening.
Sound a little loud in my
never
ear.
Oh, push them in deeper. Hey, Hojo. Kim. Half pint. Jonica.
Tingles.
Shh. Not yet.
Tingles.
Diabolical W. Quiet listener.
DJ Ska.
Rolling radio. Is that how you do it?
Sapphire Tingles.
Sapphire's
Hey,
in the house.
darling. Welcome.
Hey, DJ is. Are we sounding okay?
I think we sounded good.
Well, I thought we sounded good last time, but I was so low and the music was so loud, and you were the same. I don't know.
No,
I guess
think it's
me.
perfect, right? I think it's perfect, actually.
Cool. Hope you're doing awesome, Rolling Radio. Thank you, Hojo.
Who's that you said didn't like being a moderator?
Jonica.
Oh, was it not Sapphire?
No, Sapphire's good.
Sapphire needs to be a moderator.
Sapphire's good. Sapphire. That's my Sapphire. Sapphire.
Half pint.
Sapphire, you need to get some clothes on.
Have pint tingles. There's your blue shirt.
Don't forget to hit that like
Who
button,
else?
says Kim. That's enough. That's from my side. That's enough. What you do with yours is different. Hey, Gemma.
They're coming
Long
in.
time no see.
Share it. It's
Share
Gemma's
it, share it,
Journey
everybody. Share it.
Friday. Gemma
My
Scully.
sister's voice.
Gemma Scully.
Thank you, Half Pint.
Hey, Gemma. Brain tingles.
I've been around. I haven't seen you.
Maybe I should do a quick bathroom break before we start.
I told you, go. Just do it.
I'll be right back.
Mute it and go. I told him to go to the bathroom before we started. He said I already did. Liked and shared on my community page. Woohoo! Hey, Vixen. The Jeff word. Mute it. He did. He muted it. I muzzled him this time. Traders! 1900. 1900 traders. The Stock Explorer. Ska. Ska. I'm trying, y'all. He went to the bathroom. He'll be right back. He will be right back. Tingles, everybody's. It's 2:05 a.m. Monday here. Ooh. Nicolina. Love your face, babe. Ska. Jeff. Mark Kropka is in the house. Is in the thriller house. I'm glad y'all showed up. He's gone to the bathroom, in case y'all wondering. He's a BRB for real. Bathroom break. I'm getting high before this, so y'all know what's going to turn out. Just saying. I hope that y'all enjoy the conclusion of Misery tonight. Scully plays every male character, and I play every female character. We're at the middle of it. I just don't know what else to say. I know what I'd say if I was in my chat room, because y'all would be talking. Nobody's talking. Chat room is still. There's nobody saying anything. 24 people. Neither the chat's frozen or y'all just aren't talking.
Wait a minute. Who's that?
Traders.
It's the Jeff word. Where's Trader Tinkle?
Mark Kropka.
Trader Tinkle.
Nicolina.
Nicolina Scully. Mark Tingles.
Thank you, Kim. Is the chat frozen?
Sweet Vixen.
It is frozen. Mine is.
Your chat's frozen?
Yeah. It's frozen at Trader's Hearts. I have to reload it.
I got my chat popped out from YouTube over here.
Me too. But it's been freezing up on me lately.
Hey, Norska. Stock Explorer.
Sunshine! I got sunshine in a bag. The April showers bring me flowers. Thank you, Nicolina. It was frozen for me. Thank you, Nicolina, for the $1.99 super chat.
Teresa. Click means I love you.
Teresa.
Teresa Tingle. I'm feeling good. How about you?
Is the music too loud, y'all? I want you to both read with vibrance, like you really mean what you're reading. Scully, you need to scream. Break a pencil for the broken bone. Hey, Pumpkin. Thank you, Kim.
Oh, Paul, I love you. Brain tingles.
Cushy! Cushy's in the house. Cushy ska.
Feeling good. Cushy tinkle, tingle, sunshine, shine, shine.
I'm gonna hobble him. Hey, Ghost. Boo. Ghost is bringing him in. He said he would. Hey, Dark.
Oh, it's going to be a great show tonight.
Bringing them in.
Here's a channel y'all should check
Thank you,
out.
Ghost.
The Quiet Listener. I'll make you a moderator. I love when she plays the pan flute, not the pan flute, but the native flute. Y'all can check out Quiet Listener.
Big Eddie Bates.
Tales told in the dark. Spicy tingle, tingle, tingle. Spicy tingle, tingle. Tiny tea, tiny tea.
Drop your link, Quiet Listener. Drop your link, Quiet Listener.
Jonica.
Scream.
Blood
scream.
Who was that? Was talking about the in your chat yesterday about the writing paper, how Annie bought the best writing paper and it wasn't good enough.
Jonica said she loved how I said that part of it.
That's where we're starting, Jonica.
Yeah, I know it's I gotta try to do like I did before. I'll do better. I promise. I'll try.
Y'all ready? That's right. We see Annie balancing the bundles under her chin as she jiggles the key out the front door lock. And we cut to Paul, who's soaked.
Paul, I've got your paper.
We cut to Paul again. He wheels to exactly where he was when she left him. He at last allows himself a sigh for relief. And we cut to the door. That's the sound
just
of
the kind you asked for. Just the kind you asked for.
And as the door opens, we cut to Paul looking down. Paul's waistband, a half a dozen strips of novel ominously stick out. As the door swings open, he quickly covers the novel with his hands. We cut to Annie in the doorway, a strange look on her face.
Paul, you're dripping with perspiration. Your color is very hectic. What have you been doing?
You know goddamn well what I've been doing. I've been sitting here suffering. I need my pills.
Poor dear. Let's get you back in bed and I'll get them for you.
I want my pills now, Annie.
It'll only take a second.
I want my pain to go away, Annie. Make it go away, please, Annie. We Cut to Annie. She stares a moment more, then turns, starts for the door.
It just breaks my heart to see you like this.
We cut to Paul watching. In the instant she's out the door in the hallway, he stuffs the novel into his pants.
I've done a lot of thinking on the drive.
Annie enters the room, the novel in her hand. She's genuinely contrite.
And I'm absolutely convinced that the main reason I've never been more popular is because of my temper. You must be so mad at me. The truth now.
She hands him the pills and rolls him over in the bed. Well, I don't hold grudges. After all, who doesn't let off a little steam once in a while?
Paul putting the pills in his mouth as she picks him up from the chair and puts him gently down in the bed. My genius needs his rest before he writes. She hands him a pad and pencil. Here, in case you think of any ideas.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect too much.
Don't be silly. You're brilliant. Think of me as your inspiration. The
We cut
doorway
to
as
the
Annie starts.
doorway. Annie starts to it.
I have faith in you, my darling.
Dragon Mama. Kim 4322. On that, she turns. For the first time, a coquettish look comes to her face.
Catch this. Mwah.
Cut to Paul. He's summoning up all the courage. As he mimes catching it and forces a smile on, she waves and closes the door. We hold on Paul as the smile fades. He reaches in and pulls the 2 novel capsules out of his mouth. We cut to the sound of a helicopter. Sk, 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 sk.
Inside the helicopter, Buster and Pilot flying along. Buster's all bundled up as he stares out using the binoculars. Cut to something shiny reflecting in the sun. Hold as it almost blinds us. We're looking at the part of Paul's Mustang that was revealed by the snow when Buster almost found the car.
Walter, we could be skipping lunch today.
Cut to the crash site. Paul's car being hoisted up by chains from the ground, and it starts to rise up into the afternoon air. Pull back to reveal the area by the car. Buster is there. A bunch of state policemen and various media people are there. Buster stands with the state police chief watching as the car is hoisted via derrick. The sound of the powerful motor lifting the car is enormous, and as the car keeps rising higher and higher, people take pictures and stare. And cut to the state police chief is addressing maybe a dozen reporters. It's very cold. Buster stands slightly away from the group.
State Police Chief. The presumption must now be that Paul Sheldon is dead. We know he somehow crawled out of his car, but we've been unable to locate the body in the vicinity of the crash. We also know if anyone had found him, they would have taken him to an area hospital. His body is undoubtedly out there, buried somewhere in the snow. We'll find him after the first thaw, unless the animals have gotten to him first. I'll take questions.
After the first sentence, a very cold and very unhappy Buster leaves the gathering. Cut to Paul's car as Buster studies it, especially the area by the driver's door where there are still dents visible from Annie's crowbar. Virginia moves to him now. They exchange a glance, start walking. start walking together toward the car. Cut to the chief, surrounded. People are asking questions, raising hands for attention as he answers them. Cut to Buster and Virginia, close together, walking toward their car. You don't think he's dead, do you?
He might well be. Not the way they say. He didn't crawl out of that car by himself. You saw those dents on the door. Someone pulled him out.
It was an old car. Those dents could have been there forever.
Look, there's two kinds of people that drive around in old cars. The ones that can't afford new ones and the ones that wouldn't give them up for anything in the world. That second bunch don't drive around 25-year-old dents.
As they drive off, cut to Paul's room, night. Paul lies in bed listening to the strains of the love connection coming from upstairs. As Chuck Woolery drones on, Paul is intently involved in folding a piece of paper from his pad. He is making a container of some sort. He finishes, then reaches down and grabs the novel capsules that he has been stashing in the mattress. Carefully, he opens and pours it into the palm of his hand. First, he smells it, no odor. Then he takes a tiny bit on his finger and tastes it, no taste. Then he takes his paper container and empties the contents, all the pills into it, then places it under the mattress. Now, what to do with the empty capsules? He thinks for a second. Then, what the hell? He swallows them. He then places the packet back in the mattress. Cut to the typewriter. Day. The window is visible behind it. From this angle, it almost seems to be staring at Paul. Broken in and all. Paul tests his wounded arm. He's able to raise it a few inches, but that's it. Cut to the outside window. Annie is visible heading for the barn, followed by Misery the pig. For a moment, she stops and turns to look back. Don't be nervous. Just remember, I'll treasure whatever you do.
Now, as she turns again, moves quickly away, we cut to the typewriter. We cut to Paul. He rolls in a piece of type and types it briefly. We cut to what he's written, and it's this: Misery
bragging, Mama.
Return by Paul Sheldon for Annie Wilkes. Paul's studying the paper. He takes it out, starts to roll in a new sheet, and we cut to the machine as the new sheet is rolled in. He's staring at a blank page, takes a deep breath. He glances outside, then back to the paper. It's a blank page. Paul, and now there's a brief light behind his eyes, and suddenly he types a burst, stares at what he's written. Fuck. Cut to Paul. He closes his eyes briefly and mutters something. Kind of nods, opens his eyes, and grabs for another piece of paper. Rolls it in and starts mechanically to type. We dissolve to a new piece of paper. The words chapter 2 and half a paragraph of writing as we pull back to reveal Paul working in his room. Annie enters, the first pages of a manuscript in her hands. It's dusk.
I'm sorry, Paul. This is all wrong. You'll have to do it all over again.
What happened to what I'll treasure whatever you do?
Paul, it's not worthy of you. Throw it all out except for the part of naming that gravedigger after me. You can leave that in.
I really value your criticism, but maybe you're being a little hasty here.
Paul, what you've written just isn't fair.
Hang on, I lost my place. My phone's jumping around. Why's it doing that? Strange. There's strange. Phone keeps blinking
Call
out
it
on me. Hang
D&D.
on, Izzy.
Okay.
Let me try to go back and do this again. What the heck?
My chat's freezing up on me. Hey, Steve-O. Say hi to Steve-O and learn to grow with
Hey,
Ann. And
Steve-O. Learn to grow with Ann.
artillery.
There she is.
Fix your script.
Artillery and Wolf howls at Scully.
Hey, Wolf. Mr.
I
Sam.
think my,
Hey, Mr.
hey,
Sam. Good to see you.
Shay. I think
Glad
my
you're here.
internet popped out on me for a minute in my
Thank you,
on my
sunshine.
phone.
Cat. Cat. Catlin. Cat tingles. Catska.
I'd
Catlinska.
like to thank all y'all for finding time to come out, support the channel.
Oh, I'm
All of
glad
you
you're here,
wonderful
Mr.
members
Sam.
out there. Let's see here.
Thank you, Jonica. Did you find it yet?
I'm getting there. I think my internet cut out on my phone for a minute and it blanked out, so I had to go back to the beginning. Paper
I don't have page numbers on here.
Yeah, I'm almost there. What was the line? Oh my god, it's blanking out on me again. What the hell? Why is it doing that?
Sorry, y'all.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try something else here. I don't really understand what's going on here.
Okay, he's gonna do something else, and I'm gonna talk to y'all. I hope y'all like it so far. Glad to see everybody in here.
That's just something I've never seen my phone do. Okay.
I don't know what it is. I have some kind of magnetic
Every time,
personality.
man.
My magnetic personality messes up your technology. There.
Okay, we haven't.
Yeah, I said that.
Why is it doing that?
Kush. Kush, tell me I'm wrong. Oh, y'all know me. Tell me I'm wrong, 'cause I'm right.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Jeff Word.
Best way to spend a Sunday. It's the Izzy effect. Thank you, Kim. The Izzy effect scar. Izzy's never wrong. Thank you, Callan.
Cut
Been
to the
trying to tell
typewriter
everybody.
day. The window is visible behind it.
That's way up.
Is it?
Go to the part to fuck. Find that part. And then go down from that.
Okay. Yeah, where are we at down there? I'm sorry, Paul. It's all wrong. I have to do it over again.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Paul. This is all wrong. You'll have to do it over again.
What? What happened to I'll treasure whatever you do?
Paul, it's not worthy of you. Throw it all out except for the part of naming that gravedigger after me. You can leave that in.
I really value your criticism, but maybe you're being a little hasty here.
Paul, what you've written just isn't fair.
Not fair?
That's right. When I was growing up in Bakersfield, my favorite thing in all the world was to go to the movies on Saturday afternoons for the chapter plays.
Cliffhangers.
I know that, Mr. Man. They also call them serials. I'm not stupid, you know. Anyway, my favorite was Rocket Man, and once it was No Brakes chapter. The bad guys stuck him in a car on a mountain road and knocked him out and welded the the door shut and tore out the brakes and started him to his death. And he woke up and tried to steer and tried to get out, but the car went off a cliff before he could escape, and it crashed and it burned. I was so upset and excited that the next week you better believe I was the first in line, and they always start with the end of the last week, and there was Rocket Man trying to get out, and here the cliffs, and just before the car went off, he jumped free, and all the kids cheered. But I didn't cheer. I stood right up and started shouting, "This isn't what happened last week. Have you all got amnesia? They just cheated us. This wasn't fair."
Annie close up, still in her childhood reverie, shouting.
"He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car."
I'm sorry. Y'all hear that? Oh my God, it's so funny. Diabolical Debbie. Hey, Stony. Reading and retail. Naughty Nicky.
Sony. The amnesia, possibly.
Y'all, we got to hear that line again.
Oh my God.
Hey, player.
Just rewind. Do I have to do it
We
again?
close up on Annie. She's still in her childhood reverie, shouting.
He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car.
They always cheated like that in Cliff chapter plays.
But not you, not with Misery, remember? Ian did ride for Dr. Cleary at the end of the last book, but his horse fell jumping that fence, and Ian broke his shoulder and his ribs and lay there all night in the ditch. So he never reached the doctor. So there couldn't have been any experimental blood transfusion that saved her life. Misery was buried in the ground at the end, Paul, so you'll have to start there.
Look at this. I've got Lizzie Borden for an editor here.
Paul slumped, staring briefly at the typewriter. Dissolved to outside the farmhouse. Night. Dissolved to outside the farmhouse the next morning. Cut to Paul's room. Day. Paul is at the table. He takes a novel off his breakfast tray, wheels over to the bed, and stuffs them into the mattress. He hears footsteps coming down the hall. He smoothly wheels back to the table. A pause. Annie enters to remove the tray. "What's the matter, Paul? You haven't written a word."
I can't write this anymore.
Don't be silly. Of course you can.
I'm telling you, I can't.
You can. You have
Then
the gotta.
what?
The gotta. Remember, you talked about it in Playboy magazine. You said there's a million things you can't do in this world. You can't hit a curveball. You can't fix a leaky faucet or make a marriage work. But there's one thing you always have, and that's the power of the gotta.
I said that?
You said you can make it so they gotta turn the page, you know? I gotta know, will she live? I gotta know, will he catch the killer? I gotta see how this chapter ends. You said it. I don't usually buy that magazine. I only got it because they were interviewing you.
We cut to Paul close up, blinking. What about a bee?
What?
Nothing. We cut to the keyboard as the piece of paper slides in and the keys start to move. Annie stands there for a moment, then quietly backs out the room. So we dissolve to the window. It's late afternoon. We pull back to reveal Paul in the wheelchair watching as Annie finishes reading. Well, is it fair? Should I keep going?
You better. Oh, Paul, when Ian realized that the reason they'd buried Misery alive was because the bee sting had put her in that temporary coma.
We cut to Annie in a fervor.
And when Gravedigger Wilkes sudden when Gravedigger Wilkes remembered how 30 years earlier the same thing happened to Lady Evelyn Hyde, and then Dr. Cleary deduced that Misery must be Lady Evelyn Hyde's long lost daughter because of the rarity of deadly bee stings, my heart just leapt.
Oh my lord, we cut to Paul watching her. It's as if he had nothing to do with anything she's read as she goes on.
I've known from the very first book that Misery had to be born of nobility, and I was right.
Yeah. We cut to the two of them. She touches the pages as if they were gold, rubbing gently with the tips of her fingers.
Oh, Paul, can I read each chapter when you finish? I can fill in the ends. Will she be her old self now that Ian has dug her out, or will she have amnesia?
I have to wait.
Will she still love him with that special, perfect love?
Have to wait.
Not even a hint?
Paul shakes his head. We cut to Annie, spinning around the room like a happy child.
Misery's alive! Misery's alive! Oh, it's so romantic. This whole house is going to be filled with romance. I'm going to put on my Liberace records. You do like Liberace, don't you?
Or whenever he played Radio City, who do you think was right there in the front row?
I'm going to play my records all day long to inspire you. He's my all-time favorite.
And with that, she starts to leave. Annie stops at the door. Would you have dinner with me tonight? She cannot speak. To celebrate Misery's return, I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, Paul, it would be an honor. Annie dashes excitedly out of the room. Paul wheels over to the bed, pulls the packet of novel powder from out the mattress, and stuffs it in his pants. The sound of Liberace playing Tammy with orchestra and chorus booms in from beyond the door.
Jesus Christ.
Cut to Buster's office. Dusk. Virginia is on the phone. No, he's not here. I don't know where he went. He never tells me anything anymore. He's probably out having an affair somewhere. Wait a minute. I think I hear him coming. Buster enters, carrying a bag full of books. It's Jim Taylor. He wants to know who you've been having an affair with. Cut to Buster. He puts the bag down, shoots Virginia a look, and grabs the phone. Virginia looks in the bag.
Hey, Jim. What's doing, huh? Jim, we've been over this. If you're going to have benches in front of your store, people going to sit on them. I don't like it either. But I'm not going to come out there and tell them to move. Give my best to Denise. Bye.
Well, whoever she is, she sure likes to read a lot.
Virginia, I'm flattered you think I got that much energy. I just figure if I can't find Paul Sheldon, at least I can find out what he wrote about.
What do you expect to find? A story about a guy who drove his car off a cliff in a snowstorm?
No, you see, it's that kind of sarcasm that gives our marriage real spice.
Cut to study night. Paul is sitting at the table that Annie has set up with her best china and silverware. It is as romantic as Annie Wilkes gets. Annie enters, carrying a basket of rolls. She sits and serves Paul. I hope you like it.
It looks wonderful. And so do you.
Oh,
They
they eat
in
an awkward
silence.
Sorry.
I've never had meatloaf this good. What do you do to it?
My secret is I only use fresh tomatoes, never canned. And to give it that little extra zip, I mix in some Spam with the ground beef.
Oh, You can't get this in a restaurant in New York. Annie, I think we should have a toast.
A toast?
Yes, to misery. Let me pour you some wine.
Paul pours more of the Gallo wine and then raises his glass. To misery.
Wait, let's do this right. Do you have any candles?
Oh, I don't know. I think so. I'll go look.
She
She
exits into
exited.
the kitchen. Paul quickly pulls the pack filled with novel powder from his pants. He empties it into her glass of wine, stuffs the empty packet back into his pants, talking the whole time. Did you study decorating? Or do you just have a flair?
Oh, you. I just picked things up over the years.
Well, it certainly says you.
You really think so?
Absolutely. Listen, if you can't find any, it's okay. I just thought it might be nice. And he re enters with a candle.
Are you kidding? If anyone ever told me that one day I'd be having a candlelit dinner with Paul Sheldon in my own house, I would have checked both legs to see which one was being pulled. Will this do?
Oh, Annie, it's perfect.
She places the candle on the table with a slight tremor in her hand. She lights the candle. Paul raises his glass.
To misery and Annie Wilkes, who brought her back to life.
Annie raises her glass. Oh, Paul, every time I think about it, I get goosebumps. They clink glasses. Gourd head.
Who said that? Jonica.
Hey, Holly Dolly. Oh, jeez. Nom, 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 nom.
Reading. It's Holly Dolly. Kathleen. Sunshine. Kim maple syrup. Thank you, moderators.
Thank you, all of my community for coming over. And thank Scully's community for coming also. We got to continue, though.
And with that, her emotions have gotten the best of her. She knocks over the candle. And trying to right the situation, she places her glass back down. And as she reaches for the candle, she knocks over her glass, spilling the wine.
Oh, God, what have I done? I'm so sorry, Paul. I ruined your beautiful toast. Will you ever forgive me? Here, let me pour another one. Can we pretend this never happened? To misery?
To misery.
So they drank their wine. Cut to outside the farmhouse. Day. The snow, although still present, has melted somewhat, and started now, continuing throughout, is this, the sound of typing. Cut to Paul's room. Paul, working at his typewriter. Growing. Cut to Annie's bedroom, dusk. In her room, reading and loving it. Buster's den, night. Buster, sitting in his den reading a mystery novel by the fire. Virginia brings him a cup of tea. Cut to Paul's room, day. Paul, the sling-off, moving his injured arm. It's more mobile than before. Testing his strength, he uses his arm to remove the page and place it on the pile. He puts in another page and continues to type. Cut to Annie entering Paul's room, carrying a chapter, handing him a cup of tea. Paul, this is positively the best misery you've ever written.
I think you're right. We cut to the pile of paper. It's bigger now. Cut to outside the barn. Annie out by the barn, she stares in at the house. Framed in the window is Paul.
Indoor.
Working. She smiles as she enters the barn. We cut to Paul's room at night. He stretches, but only briefly, then back to his typing.
Dragoons, Gus.
Annie's cooking happily away, reading a chapter. We cut to Paul's room. His arms out the sling. Manages to lift the typewriter once, sets it back down, and puts the sling back on. Cut to Paul's room later. Annie's bringing in a tray of food.
I think it's so wonderful that Missouri would sacrifice her title to take up the cause of her people. That's true nobility.
Paul hands her some new pages. As she exits, we cut to Buster's office. Buster's reading. He's all alone. Cut to Annie's living room at night. Annie is reading by the fire. Her pig Misery sits beside her, staring at the pages. Cut to Paul's room at day. His fingers just fly faster than he's ever typed, and we cut to Paul's room at night. Paul staring, and we cut to the pile growing and growing. Cut to Paul's fingers, cut to Paul's room. He's ripping open a new ream of paper. His lips move silently. He's not even aware of it as he nods. Cut to the paper and the typewriter. Line after line being written. We intercut with Paul's face at day, night, and dusk in rapid succession, ending with a cut to Annie's farmhouse at night. Tingle, 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 tingle. Lightning. Giant deep rolls of thunder and rain. We cut to the typewriter being lifted out of frame, then back in again. It's Paul's room at night.
The pile of manuscript has doubled, maybe 200 pages. Paul, with some effort, is pumping the typewriter up and down. Finally, he places it back down and puts his arm back in the sling. Cut to Paul looking outside briefly. Cut to the rain. Worse, the sound hits the roof of the house, hits the window. Cut to Annie lumbering in. She's never looked like this. She's wearing her slippers and her pink quilted housecoat. Her eyes are without life. Her hair, loose and straggly, hangs around her face. Slowly, like a robot, she goes to Paul, who looks silently up at her. Here's your pills. She drops them on the table. Cut to Paul as the pills hit his chest and bounce into his lap.
Annie, what is it?
Cut to Annie. The rain, sometimes it gives me the blues.
We're close up on Annie now, and it's suddenly as if she's been turned off, gone lifeless. We cut to Paul, staring at her. No sound but the rain. We cut to Annie, seen straight on, no light in her eyes.
When you first came here, I only loved the writer part of Paul Sheldon, but now I know I love the rest of him too, as much as Misery loves Ian. I know you don't love me. Don't say you do. You are a beautiful, brilliant, famous man of the world, and I'm not a movie star type. You'll never know the fear of losing someone like you if you're someone like me.
Why would you lose me?
The book is almost finished. Your legs are getting better. Soon you'll be able to walk. You'll be wanting to leave.
No, why would I want to leave? I like it here.
That's very kind of you, but I'll bet it's not altogether true.
It is.
She slowly reaches into the pocket of her bathrobe and pulls out a .38 special. I have this gun, and sometimes I think about using it. She is absent-mindedly clicking the empty gun. I better go now. I might put bullets in it. Robot-like, she crosses the door and leaves. She crosses to the door and leaves. As she closes and locks the door, cut to Paul, stunned, listening, waiting. There is the sound of the front door closing, then footsteps on the outside walk, the sound of a car door opening and slamming shut. Now comes the gunning of a motor. Cut to the window as Annie drives by, hunched over the wheel. The motor sound grows faint. Cut to Buster in Virginia's bedroom. Night. Buster and Virginia are lying in bed. Buster is reading yet another misery novel. Misery's Trial. Virginia is also reading.
There's justice higher than that of a man. I'll be judged by him.
What?
They're hauling Misery into court.
That's nice.
There's justice higher than that of a man. I'll be judged by him.
Cut to Annie's kitchen. Cut to Annie's kitchen. The kitchen knives on the counter. Cut to Paul, now using both arms, forcing his body up toward them. This isn't easy. It was a bitch the first time he tried it, but nothing's going to stop him now. He's leaning against the cupboard, using it for balance. His balance starts to go, but he won't let it as we cut to the knives. As his hand grabs the largest one, a fat-handled sharp beauty, and cut to Paul, and you can see the relief as he begins to lower himself to the floor. Cut to the study. Paul, back in his wheelchair, knife in his lap, carefully opening drawers of little tables. Looking inside, he closes them, moves on, mindful of the rain. Now, cut to the shelf of Paul Sheldon books, as before, except the My Life scrapbook is gone. Cut to Paul glancing around, and there it is, on a coffee table in the living room. Also on the table are a roll of Scotch tape, a pair of scissors, and a copy of Newsweek. Paul wheels toward the table and the book, which is as big as a folioed Shakespeare play and as thick as a family Bible. Cut to the living room. Paul opening the book. Cut to the first page of the book. As Paul opens it, it's a newspaper clipping, as is almost all of what follows. A small article, simply a birth announcement for Anne Marie Wilkes.
Paul turns the page. This headline reads, Investment Banker Carl Wilkes dies in freak fall. USC nursing student dies in freak fall.
Welcome,
That's the
cooking.
headline on the next page.
Bow chicka bow.
Now Miss Wilkes' nursing school honors graduate. Paul turns the
DC.
page. Manchester, New Hampshire Union leader Ernest Conyers, 79, dies after long illness. Now that phrase seems to be what catches our eye. After long illness. It's from the next article. Long illness from the one after that. Then on the next page, a variation. Short illness.
Now we're in Pennsylvania. New hospitals, staff announced. And here comes those phrases again on page after page. After long illness, after long illness, after long illness. Cut to Paul, transfixed. He keeps on turning the pages. The state keeps changing, moving west, Pennsylvania to Minnesota, Minnesota to North Dakota, and always the clippings reporting deaths and deaths. And now we're in Colorado. New head maternity nurse named. And now the dead are young and helpless babies. More and more of them.
Holy shit.
Then a headline which reads, Head maternity nurse questioned on infant deaths. Next page, Miss Wilkes released. Next page, 3 more infants die. Next page, at last, Dragon Lady arrested. Then a photo, the front page of the Rocky Mountain Gazette. Annie on the courthouse steps. Dragon Lady claims innocence, under which there is a statement by Annie Wilkes. Paul turns quickly to the next page in a very large headline. Dragon Lady found not guilty. Paul just sits there shaking his head in bewilderment. Cut to the book as Paul turns to the last page. Cut to Paul, stunned. Now we find out why. As we cut to the page in the book, it's an article from Newsweek magazine. A picture of Paul's car being hauled up out of the snow. Above it, this caption, Presumed dead, Paul Sheldon. Cut to Paul, slamming the book shut, putting it back on the coffee table, then quickly turning his wheelchair. As we cut to Paul, steering his wheelchair toward the front door. He tries to position himself for a surprise attack of Annie, but he can't find a way to get close enough. The wheelchair is too cumbersome. He looks around and decides to head back to his room. He is faced with the same problem there, so he struggles into bed and, lying on his back, he rests the knife on his chest, and he stares up at the ceiling. Dissolved to Paul's window. Hours later, the rain has stopped. Cut to Paul, trying to stay awake. After a few beats, he hears something. It's the sound of a car pulling up. Headlights can be seen flashing through the window. Paul grips the knife and hides it under the covers. The sound of the car door opening and closing, then footsteps. As the front door opens, Paul grids himself for the attack. The front door closes. Then a couple of footsteps, then silence. Then the footsteps continue down the hallway, up the stairs. After a beat, we hear the television. Someone is explaining how you can buy millions of dollars of prime real estate with no money down. Paul, allowing himself to relax, slips the knife under the mattress. As the TV drones on, Paul lies staring up at the ceiling, dissolved to the outside farmhouse night. We hear a clap of thunder, and once again the rain pours down. Cut to close-up of Paul, eyes closed. There is another loud thunderclap, which causes Paul to stir and open his eyes. He turns his head, and another clap of thunder is heard. Lightning flashes and reveals Annie standing over his bed. Before he can react, she jabs a needle into his arm, pulls it out, and starts out of the room. Paul tries to raise himself, but the power of the drug causes him to collapse, unconscious. Cut to the room. Early morning. It stopped raining. Paul lies asleep now. Surprisingly, we hear a voice we've never heard in the movie before. Loud. For an instant, we don't recognize this voice. Then we do. It's Liberace talking to his audience on a recording, going, thank you. What a wonderful thing it is for me to be back with you in Paris. Paul stirs and awakens to discover that he is strapped to his bed. He can move his arms, but that's it. Shut up.
Cut to
Annie's
Annie.
standing in
She's
the room.
standing in the room and she looks very together. Her eyes are bright. Too bright. Way too bright. She comes to the foot of his bed. We cut to Paul. He's groggy from being drugged. Tries to clear the cobwebs.
Paul, I know you've been out.
What?
You've been out of your room.
No, I haven't.
Paul, my little ceramic penguin, in the study always faces due south.
I don't know what you're talking about. Paul looks up at her. He's totally honest and sincere. As he talks, his hand surreptitiously begins moving toward the mattress edge. Cut to Annie as she brings the fat-handled knife out of her skirt pocket.
Is this what you're looking for? I know you've been out twice, Paul. At first, I couldn't figure out how you did it, but last night I found your key. She holds up the bobby pin. I know I left my scrapbook out, and I can imagine what you might be thinking of me. But you see, Paul, it's all okay.
We cut to Annie. She walks slowly back to the foot of the bed. And now a thump comes from the foot of the bed. Something is out of sight. Paul's staring at her, waiting.
Last night, it came so clear. I realize you just need more time. Eventually, you'll come to accept the idea of being here. Paul, do you know about the early days at the Kimberley Diamond Mine? Do you know what they did to the native workers that stole diamonds? Don't worry, they didn't kill them. They would be like junking them. That would be like junking a Mercedes just because it had a broken spring. Nope. If they caught them, they had to make sure they could go on working, but they also had to make sure they could never run away. The operation was called hobbling.
And with that, she reaches down out of sight and comes up holding a 16-inch piece of 4x4 wood. Annie, whatever you're thinking about, don't do it. We cut to Annie. You all know it. She wedges the 4x4 firmly between his legs, just above the ankles, secures it and adjusts his feet.
Now don't fuss, Paul.
Why would I run away? I'm a writer, Annie. It's all I am, and I've never written this well. Even you said that this is my best, didn't you? Annie picks up a sledgehammer. Didn't you? Why would I leave a place where I'm doing my best work? Doesn't make any sense. Cut to Annie positioning herself to the side of the right ankle.
Shh. Darling, trust me. It's for the best.
Annie, for God's sake, please. As Annie swings the sledgehammer and makes contact with the ankle and breaks it with a sharp crack. Cut the ball close up, shrieking. Cut to Annie moving to the other side of the bed.
Almost done. Just one more.
She breaks the other ankle, shrieks even louder. Oh my God, Annie! Hey! Cut to Annie close up.
God, I love you.
Annie, God! Annie! Cut to Paul's face. He's beyond agony. We fade to black.
For a long moment, nothing. Then a faint sound. After a moment, it begins to become more intrusive, and we can tell it what it is. A car horn honking. Fade in on Silver Creek and Annie and her Cherokee, honking for another car to get a move on. Cut to a hand on and a coin moving across it from finger to finger. Pull back to reveal Buster sitting up by the front window of his office, reading the Rocky Mountain Gazette. He watches idly as Annie yells out the window to the car in front of her. The driver of the car yells back. Annie yells louder. The driver guns off, and Annie pulls into the parking space next to the general store. Cut to Annie getting out, shaking a fist at the other car, calling out, "You poop!" She enters the store. Cut to Buster staring straight ahead. Something is gnawing at him. Cut to Virginia in his office. Tidying the desk, Buster looks angry.
Just leave it. All right, just leave it.
Oh, I like that tone.
How many times I gotta tell you? I have a system here. Where the hell's that thing?
What thing?
That thing. Here it is, right where it's supposed to be.
What is it?
I'm not sure. Maybe nothing.
It's good you found it.
There's
Hey,
that
Meep's
spice
music.
again.
As Buster leaves, Virginia goes back to tidying the desk. Cut to a large library as Buster leaves his car, hurries inside, and cut to library stacks. Buster, wearing bifocals, sits poring over bound volumes of the Rocky Mountain Gazette. Cut to Buster, frustrated, puts one set of volumes down, picks up another, starts through it as we cut to the Rocky Mountain Gazette as the pages turn. Only now they stop moving. Cut to Buster, tense, adjusting his bifocals. Cut to a series of headlines pertaining to Annie Wilkes' murder trial. A headline which reads, Dragon Lady Claims Innocence. Under a picture of Annie on the courthouse steps, we see caption, Wilkes told reporters on the courthouse steps, there is a higher justice than that of man. I will be judged by him. Cut to Buster. He takes a 3x5 card out of his pocket. On it, it's printed the exact quote we just saw in the paper. Buster's sitting there, staring at his quote.
We cut to Annie carrying a bag of feed, followed by Misery.
Hi, Pumpkin!
Oh, God.
Give us a smile.
Oh, God, it's Annie. She's back.
Where are you? Where
Hey,
you
Meep.
at?
How you doing, Meep? Let's give a couple quick shout-outs out here.
Shout it out. Shout it out. Aerial wheels.
Holy duck. Tingle, tingle, tingle.
Can't do that.
Night Dragon. Hey, Ariel. It's Ariel Williams.
Yes, it is, Pandar. Thank you very much.
Mark DC.
Did I say hi to... Oh, thank you, Sapphire, for becoming a member of the Tingle Room.
Sapphire.
Thank you, Sapphire.
Wait a minute. Bottle caps. Bottle caps. Sapphire. Tingle. Tingle pop.
Scully pop.
You like it, Kat? You enjoy, great job, she says.
Aw.
Thank you. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. How was the hobbling, everybody?
Yeah, Holly's scared.
I'm horrified.
I'm not scared.
Oh my God, I hope the sound effect was okay.
Sounded good.
I meant to
Did
get
y'all like the sound
a
effects?
bag of Doritos. Remember we talked about getting
Should
a bag
we
of
do it
Doritos to pop the bag?
Should we do it again? This time for real.
She's about to tell you're such a kidder. Wait till y'all hear Izzy say this. Okay, so Paul's staring out. She's gonna say, "You're such a kidder."
I know.
Oh, good. I did a good scream, huh? I hope I didn't wake anybody up over here. Dang. That's all right. A lot of people end up going to sleep when I narrate, so if everybody goes to sleep when I narrate, it wouldn't be anybody chatting. Froggy Scud. Been listening, trying to catch up. Ended up leaving Dad's late tonight. Old DC enjoyed the weeping screams.
DC's my sugar butt.
We
Leave her
cut
alone.
DC, we cut to Paul staring out at her.
Give us a
Paul
smile.
staring.
Such a kidder.
She exits our view. We cut to Paul
Oh,
lifting the typewriter and repeatedly raising it over his head, this time without any difficulty. We cut to the general store in Silver Creek, early afternoon. Buster enters. Place is empty. It's one of those wonderful spots that stocks pretty much everything in what seems like complete disarray. Buster goes to the coffee urn behind the counter, helps himself. He speaks to the guy who sits behind the counter nearby. These two have known each other forever. Hey, Pete. Buster. Answer me a couple things, if I can. Do you have any of those new Paul Sheldon books? We had a batch, sold them all 3 days ago. You wouldn't happen to remember if Miss Wilkes bought one, would you? Are you kidding? Every time that fella writes a book, she makes me set aside the first copy. And Buster opens the cash register, drops his coffee money inside and closes the drawer. She been buying any odd things lately? Miss Wilkes? Same old stuff. Least you call paper odd. Newspapers? No, the typing kind. Cut to Buster. He's close up now. Oh, that kind. Nothing odd about that.
he cannot hide his excitement now as we cut to Annie entering Paul's room. He lies back in a wheelchair, eyes closed, Liberace music playing in the background. From the start, Paul's tone is different, strong. He's in control. Paul, don't you think it's time for you to start writing again? It's been over a week.
I don't know. It's weird. But a couple of broken bones hasn't done a lot for my creative juices. Get the fuck out of here.
Don't talk to me like that.
Why? What are you gonna do? Kill me? Take your best shot.
Why are you so mean, mister? Oh, wait. Why are you so mean, mister? You'd be dead in the snow if it wasn't for me.
Oh, no reason. You keep me prisoner. You make me burn my book. You drive a sledgehammer into my ankles.
I'll draw a sledgehammer into your man gland if you're not nicer.
Be my guest.
That's disgusting. As she exits, cut to a road, empty, hold for a moment. Now a car appears around a curve. Cut to the car. Buster is driving fast. Cut to Paul in his room. He sits as before by the window. He doesn't move. Now he closes his eyes, stretches, sighs as we cut to the kitchen. Annie busily making cocoa. Cut to Buster in his car. He stops at a mailbox. The name on the box is Wilkes. Buster turns his car slowly into the driveway by the mailbox. Cut to Paul. He yawns, opens his eyes briefly, closes them in the distance now. Growing more and more visible is Buster's car. And now Paul's eyes go open wide, and he's staring out the window at the car as it keeps on coming. Closer, closer, and cut to Buster. Looking around, he's driving very slowly, carefully. Cut to Paul, fixating on the window. And now it's all going to be all right, and everything's going to be all right. And then
And
Annie
then
is on him. Go ahead.
hypodermic needle in hand. She jabs it in his arm. Desperately tries to fight her off. But the truck starts to take hold. He tries to grab her by the neck, but she fights him off as she wheels him out the road, down the hall towards the cellar door.
I don't think I'll ever understand you. I cook your meals, I tend to you practically 24 hours a day, and you continue to fight me. When are we going to develop a sense of trust?
Annie opens the cellar door. Paul's about limp now. He's all but limp. As she picks him up and starts to carry him down the steps, we cut to Buster, pulling up in front of the house. As he gets out of his car, we see Annie placing Paul on the cellar floor, heading up the stairs. Paul is out. Buster's heading up the steps to the front door as Annie stashes the wheelchair in the hall closet. She crosses to the front door, opens it, revealing Buster. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. You didn't give me a chance to knock.
I guess you can tell from my reaction, I'm not all that used to visitors out here. What can I do for you?
I was just wondering if you happen to know anything about Paul Sheldon.
What do you want to know?
Anything you can tell me might help. Cut to Annie, the words pour out.
Well, he was born in Worcester, Massachusetts, 42 years ago, the only child of Franklin and Helene Sheldon. Mediocre student, majored in history.
Cut to Buster, watching her surprised. Excuse me? That's not exactly the kind of information I was after. You see, he's been missing for quite some time now, and
I know, it's so upsetting. I'm his #1 fan. I've got all his books, every sentence he ever put down. I'm so proud of my Paul Sheldon collection. Here I am, prattling on. My manners have just flown away. I haven't invited you in. Please.
thank you. Annie lets Buster in and closes the door. They linger in front of Paul's door. Buster idly checks out the hallway.
Of course, you must know about that horrible accident.
With that, Buster nods and wanders into the living room. Annie follows him. He crosses into the study and checks out a bookcase that contains the complete works of Paul Sheldon. One shelf below contains Annie's infamous scrapbook.
Almost killed me, too. I prayed when I heard the news. I got down on my knees and begged for it not to be true.
Annie's so moved about this, Buster wanders into the kitchen.
You're going to laugh at what I'm about to say, but go ahead. I don't care. When I was praying, God told me to get ready.
Buster watches her. This isn't at all what he expected. Get ready for what? Cut to Paul trying to fight the drug. Just his eyes flutter. Cut to Annie. Buster heading back down the hallway toward Paul's room.
To try and be his replacement, he gave me so much pleasure to so many people. He gave so much pleasure to so many people, and there's a shortage of pleasure on this planet these days, in case you hadn't noticed.
Buster enters Paul's room and he follows.
God told me, since I was his #1 fan, that I should make up new stories as if I was Paul Sheldon. So I went to town and I bought a typewriter and paper to type on, the same kind Paul Sheldon used, and I turned the guest bedroom into a writing studio. Would you like to see it?
Sure.
It's right this way.
Buster takes a look in the bathroom. Annie waits for him.
It's right here. I knew how he wrote, the kinds of words he used. the wonderful stories he told. I've spent the last 4 weeks trying to write like Paul Sheldon, but I can't do it right. I try and I try, and I know all the words, but it's just not the same.
Buster just stands there and watches her. Well, maybe it takes time to get the hang of it.
I could give you a couple of 100 pages of mine, and you could tell me what you think.
I'm not much of a critic, man.
Well, I just thought, oh, look at me. You'd think I'd never had a house guest before. Would you like something to drink?
Sure.
How does a nice cup of cocoa sound?
Hang on, Izzy. I gotta view the entire message. Hang on. I might have to scroll back down. See where we're at. Further down than that. Buster.
Hey, Holly Dolly, Janica, Naughty Nikki B. Learn and grow with Anne meets music. Welcome. Welcome to Scully's house.
Thank you, everybody. Buster just stands there and watches her. I'm not much of a critic. Is that where we're at? How does a nice cup of cocoa sound?
Yeah.
Sounds good. As she exits into the kitchen.
I done lost my place now.
Hey,
Shit.
Clelia.
Oh man, how'd I get that far up? Trying to find you.
Burnt flowers falling. Put 'em up. Y'all get ready Tuesday night for rehearsals going out for a live production of a rehearsal for The Wizard of Oz. We have an all-star cast. I see our cowardly lion out there, burnt flowers falling. Make sure you get over there and check out his channel to make you a moderator, buddy. Add as a moderator. Moderator. Burnt flowers is now a moderator. Holly, Dolly. One big happy family. Blind Neil, what's up, buddy? It's Blind Neil. Scully. How you doing, Blind Neil? Nest lover. Nest lover. Sunshine. Jonica. Annie, where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay. How about a hot cup of cocoa?
Thank you, Naz.
The magic juice. Boom, chicka-ra, meow, ska. You waiting on me?
Yeah.
Buster lingers in Paul's room for a beat, then goes into the hallway. Must get lonely living out here all by yourself.
It gets even more lonely when this thing jumps on me. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Dragon Mama. Kim, you still out there? Kim Maple.
I always say, if you can't enjoy your own company, you're not fit company for anyone else.
You got a point there. As Buster moves up the stairs. Go ahead. Check. Check, everybody. Tingle, 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 tingle.
Angela Critters. Ska, ska,
I
ska.
see the critter tingles in the house. We cut to Paul. He's still fighting the truck. His arm twitches almost involuntarily, grazing the barbecue. Cut to Buster, opening the door to Annie's room. He looks around, and just as he's about to turn to leave, we cut to Annie standing right in front of him.
Here you are.
Thanks, Miss Wilkes, but I don't want to take up any more of your time. I best be going.
But you didn't even taste your cocoa.
They cross to the front door. I'm sure it's wonderful, but I really should be getting back. And Buster opens the door, and we cut to Paul stirring as we cut to Buster and Annie at the door. You don't mind? Perhaps I could pay you another visit sometime.
I'd be delighted, now that you know the way.
With that, she closes the door. Buster stands on the front porch for a beat thinking, then starts heading down the porch steps. Just as he reaches about halfway down, we hear a loud crash coming from inside the house.
Cut to Paul. He has managed to partially fight his way through the drug, and in waking has accidentally knocked over the barbecue. He fights to clear the cobwebs. Cut to.
Miss Wilkes, are you all right?
There is no answer. He quietly moves into the house.
Miss Wilkes?
Again, no answer. We cut to Paul, still fighting to gain complete consciousness.
Here, I'm down here.
Cut to Buster, hearing Paul's muffled call for help. He tracks the sound to the cellar door. As Paul continues to call out, Buster looks around, sees no one, and opens the cellar door. The shaft of the light from the open door pours down on Paul, who is still lying on the floor.
Mr. Sheldon?
But before Paul can answer, there's the sound of a loud explosion. Seemingly from nowhere, a hole is ripped through Buster's chest, knocking him out of frame, revealing Annie smoking shotgun in hand, standing at the top of the cellar steps.
Boom, chicka rah 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 rah. Ska, ska, ska.
Don't feel bad, Paul. It had to happen. I've been waiting for this sign. Annie walks toward Buster's body and very casually takes his gun out of his holster. I've known for some time that I was chosen to save you. You and I were meant to be together forever. But now our time in this world must end. But don't worry, Paul. I've already prepared for what must be done. I put 2 bullets in my gun, one for you and one for me. Oh, darling, it will be so beautiful.
With that, Annie
With that,
turns and exits the cellar. Paul's mind races desperately. He looks at the barbecue again. Next to it is a messy table with a dozen jars and cans on it. One of the cans is lighter fluid. He stares at it for a moment, and then an idea hits him. He struggles and crawls over to the table, grabs the lighter fluid in his hands, and jams it into the rear of his pants. Scrambles back to where Annie left him. Annie's returning with her 38 special and a hypodermic needle. She stops at the top of the stairs.
now don't be afraid. I love you.
She starts toward him. I know you do. I love you too, Annie. And you're right. We are meant to be together. I know we must die, but it must be so that misery can live. We have the power to give misery eternal life. We must finish the book.
But the time is now. Soon others will come.
It's almost done. By dawn, we'll be able to give misery back to the world.
Annie stares at Paul. She could go either way on this. Then, without a word, she turns and goes back up the stairs. Here, Paul, I'll fix you something to eat. She exits. Paul hesitates for a moment, then realizes he has no choice. He starts dragging himself over Buster and up the stairs. Cut to Paul's room, night. Paul working, typing like a madman, totally concentrated on the white paper. His lips move, but he's not even aware of it. Annie enters quickly, holding a few pages. Oh, Paul, it's beautiful.
3 more chapters to go.
She looks at him, now enthralled. The stranger staying at the inn is someone from Misery's past?
Maybe.
This is so exciting. It's Winthorne, her first love, right?
Maybe. Are you ready for the next chapter?
He taunts her with it. Oh, you. She takes the pages and goes. Cut to Paul's room later. Paul types a moment, then rips out the page and starts over. Cut to Annie, putting the coffee down for him, putting the pages back on the main pile. It was Winthorne. I knew it. What does that do for her love for Ian? Of course, if she hadn't thought Winthorne was murdered, she wouldn't have never fallen in love with Ian in the first place.
Paul glares at
Sorry,
him.
it's just that this is so wonderful.
I'm glad you like it.
Paul, this will be our legacy.
It will.
He hands her a few more pages. She starts reading as she exits. Cut to Paul's bedroom much later. Paul rubs his eyes. For a moment he sags, then fights it. He puts a clean page into the typewriter. Annie bursts in. Oh, Paul, I'm dying. Does she wind up with Ian or Winthorne? You have to tell me.
You'll know very soon. I'm starting the last chapter. And when I finish, I want everything to be perfect, Annie. I'll require 3 things.
What things?
You don't know?
I was fooling, silly. You need a cigarette because you used to smoke, but you quit except when you finish a book. And you just have one. And the matches to light it, and you need 1 glass of champagne. Dom Perignon.
Dom Perignon it is.
As Annie
As
exits
Annie
the window.
exits. Go ahead.
Gensora.
Famous Cardoso. Who else was that?
First
out
light
there
of
just
morning.
saw?
Huh?
Famous
Sasquatch.
Oh, yeah, Sasquatch. Hey, buddy. Tingle, tingle. Whoop, whoop.
The first light of morning is starting to break through. Cut to Paul stretching. He makes sure everything is set.
Annie. Annie.
With that, she enters. Yes, Paul.
I'm almost done.
Oh, Paul, this is so romantic. Ian and with Winthorne dueling for the right to Misery's hand. Does Ian win? Oh, don't tell me. It's Winthorne, right?
You'll know everything in a minute. Get the champagne.
Uh,
She exits. Paul adjusts the manuscript on the table and then types the last line. Annie's over in the kitchen. She takes out the bottle of Dom Perignon, places it on the tray with 2 glasses. She takes out the gun and places it in her pocket. Then takes out the hypodermic needle and places it on the tray. We cut to Paul's room. Annie enters with the tray, sets it down on the table.
did I do good?
You did perfect, except for one thing. This time we need 2 glasses. He takes out the last page of the typewriter.
Oh, Paul.
Paul drops the manuscript to the floor, pulls the lighter fluid from his pants, and starts dousing the manuscript. He grabs the last chapter and twists the last few pages together torch style, douses it with the fluid, and holds the match out of sight. He smiles as we cut to Annie entering with the second glass. It's all right here, Annie. Remember how for all those years no one ever knew who Misery's real father was, or if they'd ever be reunited? It's all right here. When Misery finally lead her countrymen to freedom, does she finally marry Ian or Willoughby Winthorne? It's all right here. Cut to the match as he strikes it and Annie starts screaming.
Paul, you can't.
We cut to the champagne bottle. It falls to the floor, explodes like a torpedo. Why not? I learned it from you. And we cut to the last chapter as Paul brings the match close to it and burns into flame. And Paul, holding it like a torch it is, Annie starts moving forward.
No, not Misery, not my Misery.
He drops the last chapter into the soaked manuscript and kaboom, burst into flame.
Annie transfixed by the sight for a minute, and then she charges. Cut to the fire as Annie rushes to the book, stoops down, grabs it with both hands, brings the burning mass up to her body, both arms across it, trying to smother the flames. Cut to Paul, grabbing the typewriter, raising it high above his head, then throwing it down on her with all his power. Cut to the typewriter, crashing into the back of her head. Annie screaming, driving to the floor by the blow. The book beneath her, and flames fly up. Sweater is starting to burn, and she covered the shards of glass from the shattered bottle of champagne, and some of the manuscript is missing from the liquid, but she is able to struggle to her knees. I'm going to kill you, you lying cocksucker!
As she struggles to her feet, she pulls out the gun and shoots at Paul, hitting him in the shoulder. Just as she's about to shoot again, Paul quickly wheels the chair up to her, throws himself out the chair, and tackles her. The gun flies out of her hand and lands in the hallway, going off as it lands. They wrestle on the floor.
Flames still around them. Paul gets on top of her, grabs some burning pages, stuffs them into her mouth, shouting,
Here, you want it? You want it? You can eat it, you fucking choke, you sick, twisted fuck.
and as he forces more paper into her mouth, Annie, she is hideous, blistered, her hands claw at her throat. She makes horrible sounds, spitting the charred chunks of manuscript out of her mouth. Shards of glass are in her hair. Now a shriek of tremendous jerk of her body, and cut to Paul falling away. Annie's still making the sounds as she gets to her feet, and Paul's trying to crawl away after her. Annie heading for the door. She takes a step away from Paul, then another. Then Paul suddenly, out of his shattered legs, screaming in pain as it crashes into her ankle.
And Annie's trying to
She
keep her
kicked him.
balance, not doing well. Her arms are windmilling as she fights for balance. One last moment fight, sort of loses, and now she topples over.
The typewriter, as she falls, and her head slams into it, collides with the sharp metal, and a great wound opens in her head. There is one final cry. Blood pours. It's over. All over. We are looking at a dead body. Paul, exhausted,
panting, lying there. trying to gather his energy.
And
He starts to crawl for the door. Just as he reaches the door jamb, an arm grabs his leg. Shrieking, Nanny pulling herself up his body, and Paul's trying to buck her off, but he can, and because Annie, the stronger, relentless, moving up on him, and Paul's broken his grip. Annie, all powerful, looming over him. Annie, ska.
Paul hitting up at her, and Annie swelling at the blood pouring down, and she feels his blows. She doesn't show it, and Paul, whatever energy he has left, he uses now, trying to twist and strike as his body moves. A metal base floor lamp, and cut to Paul grabbing the thing, suddenly bringing it across his body, clobbering Annie in the face. And cut to Annie, startled by this power of the blow for a moment. She has stopped. And Paul, as with everything he has left, he crunches her forehead with the sharp, heavy metal base, just creams her as the air is forced out of her body. Cut to Annie. Her eyes roll up into her head. For a moment, all we see are the whites. Then
She
collapses on
collapses on Paul, motionless, mountain of slack flesh. Paul scrambling free, pushing her off him, crawling for the door. Outside the door, as Paul crawls into view, we make it to the corridor, reaches back, closes the door, and locks it. He's safe now. He collapses exhausted against the wall opposite the door. We dissolved Paul hours later. It is dawn. He is awakened by a loud smashing at the front door. A couple of heart-stopping pounds. Front door smashes open, revealing two cops with guns drawn. The policeman hurrying to Paul. The younger cop kneels beside Paul.
It's the writer, the dead one.
Right, I'm the dead one. Where's old Sheriff McCain? He's in the cellar. She killed him. Annie Wilkes? Yeah, she's in there.
Cut to the older cop, taking the key to the room, unlocks the door, throws it open, and he steps inside. Cut to the inside bedroom. The older cop has his gun ready to fire, but even with it tight in his hand, he's edgy as hell. He looks around. Glass and blood stains on the floor. The charred remains of a manuscript. He kneels quickly, glances under the bed, nothing. He looks at the window, wide open. Cut to Paul and the younger cop. Pause. The older cop is in the doorway.
Mr. Sheldon, there's no one in there.
Cut to Paul, close up in shock. Dissolved to Palm Court Plaza Hotel. This legend appears. 1 year later. Marcia Snydell is seated at the table. Paul enters, walking briskly, and he's never looked this good before. He's gained weight back. His color is normal again. He appears to be, for the first time in the movie, jaunty, happy figure.
Sorry I'm late. Jenny's basketball game went into overtime. If anybody ever told me I'd have a daughter who'd get a triple-double, did they win?
Did they win?
Yeah, they're in the semis.
Female.
My bad.
Here it is. The first big copy.
She hands him a wrap package. Paul sits, begins unwrapping it. It's a book. A new one by Paul Shelton. The Higher Education of J. Philip Stone. Paul turns it over gently in his hands. We cut to Cinda.
The word I'm getting is the Times review is going to be a love letter.
That'd be a first.
And my contracts at Time and Newsweek tell me they're both raves. And don't laugh. For the first time, I think you've got a shot at some prizes.
Great.
I thought you'd be thrilled. You're being taken seriously.
I'm delighted the critics are liking it, and I hope the people like it too. But it's not why I wrote the book.
Cut to Paul, close up. There is a genuine sense of peace about him. He has been through the fire and survived.
I like it. Remember how you once said I live my whole life as if I'm in danger of being found out? Well, I believe I managed to get that guy down on paper. Don't think I'm completely nuts, but in some way, Annie Wilkes, that whole experience helped me.
Paul, since you brought her up, I have to ask you this, or I'd be drummed out of the agents' union. What about a nonfiction book? The truth about what happened in that house.
Gee, Marcia, if I didn't know you better, I think you were suggesting I dredge up the worst horror of my life so we could just make a few bucks.
Now you've hurt me, Paul.
Paul glances around. He looks past Marcia to the dessert trolley some distance away. It's being pushed by a waitress. It is Annie. Cut to Paul and Cendil.
Thought you were over it.
I am. Well, maybe not completely. He glances toward the trolley. It's moving inexorably closer to Paul. Annie reaches down and pulls out a very sharp knife. Cut to Paul and Cendil. I don't know if you can ever be totally over something like that. I just don't think about it as much anymore. And when I do, it's not so terrifying. Cut to Annie with the knife raised. Paul staring up at Annie. I mean, once they found her body, my nightmare stopped.
Cut to Paul and Annie. Only it isn't Annie, just a waitress. She stands by the trolley, the knife in her hand, ready to slice whatever anyone wants. Would you care for anything?
Cut me something sinful.
Cut to Paul. The smile holds. In the background, now soft music. Someone might be playing Liberace.
Hold on, Paul. Final fade out. The end. Scuss, 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 scuss. Yeah, Izzy pop.
Ta-da! We're supposed to say
so
ta-da when we're done.
wild. That was so wild. Oh my
Was you
gosh.
scared?
It was so crazy.
Oh wait, she died. She was just seeing her as wait.
Just
Yeah,
think
he
about
was just
that.
seeing it.
MGM. Hey,
Hey,
NDT
NDT,
show. Welcome in, buddy. Let me make him a moderator.
you owe me a Coke. We said at the
So
same
y'all
time.
enjoyed that, huh? What was your favorite part?
Who's mine? Oh, Mr. Sam gave us a
Yeah.
standing ovation. Thank you, Jens.
Sam.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Half Pint. Woot woot. Hey, yeah, Amos, he owes me a Coke. Thank you, Nez. Thank you, Sunshine.
Scuss. Nez Lover, our Wicked Witch of the West. Nez Lover.
And it's a ding
Burnt
dong, the
Flowers
wicked
Fall
bitch
by
is dead.
Cowardly Lion. You did so good. I'm like so impressed by that production. Gosh.
Oh, he said, Mr. Sam said,
Ding dong, the
Mr.
wicked
Sam
witch is dead. Oh wait,
look,
no.
Mr. Sam said his favorite part.
Ding
He said
dong,
his
the
favorite.
wicked bitch is dead.
Oh, jeez.
What
Mr.
was the
Sam
favorite
said his favorite.
Cocksucker.
Is that like motherfucker? Motherfucker. You're welcome, Jens.
Oh, Janica liked my scream. Hell yeah, man. That's what's up. Yeah. Do.
Thank you, Holly. Champagne for everyone.
Naughty Nicky. Motherfucker.
Motherfucker. Like Kaz says, motherfucker. Mr. Sam just liked it when I said, you cocksucker. Jen Zor, oh no, I missed. I've been
Right.
playing. That's okay, hon.
Jens.
You like it when I curse. I like it when Sunshine curses. She rarely talks. But when she does, she curses. Motherfucker. Already clicked Sunshine.
Man.
I hope everybody gave a thumbs up.
No, I have
And
to say,
please
I really
comment
enjoyed it.
underneath. Please comment underneath because that matters. I think
Oh
I
yeah, I
speak
always
for everyone.
forget to tell people that, like make a comment on the actual comment section or whatever.
Jenzor, I think I speak for everyone. Our favorite part was when you and Scully cursed. All sexy. Oh, we cursed sexy? I thought I was yelling curse words. You read Annie beautifully
I
and with
know she
expression. Great
did.
job. Thank you, Scully.
Scared the hell out of me.
Oh, you'll be all right. You're a long ways away, dude.
Well, I
I
didn't
could have
quite know
popped you in the
what to
head. I would
think
have
when
done
they
it
were
before.
pouring the champagne.
Are
Imagine
you
being in a
okay?
room with a crazy one, man, getting ready to drink some champagne. Oh my god.
I told you. I told you. I play a great psycho.
That's just the voice you don't want to make there, gosh. Yeah, you liked it, Sapphire? Awesome. Holly Dolly,
Thank
thanks for
y'all.
coming
Glad y'all
in.
came out. I love y'all, peoples, champ people.
People.
I always enjoy listening
Yeah,
to
wait
y'all.
till y'all hear
Thank you,
Steve-O do his characters in The Wizard of Oz. He's amazing. He and Nez are just total pros. So
Cursing sexy is
lucky
crazy.
guy.
That's yours.
Yeah, so we're
I
looking at
got
what
into it.
Tuesday night. 7 Central.
Oh, good.
Tuesday
I'm glad
night.
you're in Zora. That's the main thing.
And if everything goes well, we'll be having our show next Saturday night for The Wizard of Oz. We will have one more rehearsal Tuesday night.
You talk about
Otherwise,
May 13th?
and probably the cast will meet like Thursday night privately. Um,
I don't know.
but yeah, Nez has been working on some fabulous art over there and all the characters, and we'll have a giveaway too that night. And hopefully a musician come up and play a song to close out the show. How you doing, Ann? Learn and grow with Ann. Yeah. Naughty Nicky. Excited? Yeah, it's going to be a great. I mean, it's really a musical almost more than anything.
I want to slap a cast iron skillet on the backside of Annie's head. So great job, Izzy.
I can't
Thank
believe
you.
the appetite that I worked up during the show tonight. I'm like starving again.
You
Let's
guys
eat
came
dinner
across
too.
early in. Well, I
And
guess we better end this so Scully can go eat.
I'll give it just a minute here and make sure all of our ducks are in a row. Yeah, what
Thank you,
do you
Jar.
have coming up, Izzy? On you doing your live tomorrow?
I don't know.
I know every time whenever we do a show, more of my community sees who you are. So y'all make sure you get over there and subscribe to Izzy's channel.
And it's not
She does a
about
lot of
cats.
hard work
I
behind the
love you,
scenes for a lot of
Jen.
people, and don't let her fool you. So
What? I
she's
love
not
you,
going to admit
Kim.
to it, but
Sean. Admit to what? Hey, Sapphire.
all the work you do behind the scenes for people.
Oh. Oh.
Yep.
I do what I can.
And who else we got out there? Kat Lynn. She's got a great reading channel where she does readings and
Pindar,
stuff. And Pindar, wonderful
uh,
music channel like
Traders. She's
Traders.
very Jen's Aura.
She's Aura.
Sunshine, I want to piss you off. I want her to cuss at me sexy. Watch it. Kiss my fucking ass, Jen's Aura.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for Halloween this year, Amos.
As I was
I know we're gonna
hoping
do
you was
trains,
gonna say.
planes, and
You ought to do
automobiles
Rocky
for
Horror
Thanksgiving.
Halloween.
Yeah, it might be a good deal.
You ought to do
Well, I
Rocky
guess we'll
Horror for
see
that.
because I know y'all had talked about Traders might do the show at her channel too. So
Dirty Birdie. I don't know if she will or not. Dirty
you
Birdie.
dirty birdie, dirty
Fuck
bird.
you, Jen's Aura. Sunshine,
Oh,
it don't count if you say just kidding, love you afterwards. No, Kim, we're not doing The Shining. Johnny's
oh
not
my
home.
god.
Izzy, tell me more. Tell me I'm a little bitch and need my
I,
ass spanked. I will spank that ass, Jens. Spank
hey,
that ass.
Princess, welcome to the show.
Oh, Ice is here. Oh, Catelyn. Damn right I'll spank Catelyn. Catelyn. I love it. I love it. I want some more of it. Spankings for Jens.
Spankings for Jens. Jinx. Man, you're
You
good at doing
bean
that,
eating
huh?
bear hugger.
Who was
Huh?
that? I was in chat. You and somebody said the same thing at the same time or something. Can't
I don't
remember.
know. I know we did. So we Coke. I don't know. Scully do CIA this Halloween. I don't know what that is. Had to
No, I
check
was in your
that. Yeah,
chat
hell yeah.
yesterday or something, and you said, "Did we just say the same thing at the same time?" or something like that. Because one of
Yeah.
your
Oh yeah.
guests was up there.
I was on my live.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Betty Washington was up there. We both said the same thing at the same time. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, we was in harmony too. It's so cool. Jen's Zora gets
Jen,
spanking. Pet the
Jen,
check.
did you catch
Y'all
any
pet
fish the other day?
Scully, your giggle's adorable.
Oh my god.
That's what Jen
Did you
said.
catch any fish?
Do Beetlejuice for Halloween. Day-o, day-o. Daylight comes and I won't go home.
Didn't catch nothing. All right. We caught a
Day-o,
big fish last week, man.
day-o.
That was funny.
Daylight comes and we won't go home. Beetlejuice.
We are the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild.
Gotta hold your nose. Hold your nose to do it. We are the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild. That's right. I'm Bow
We're
Chicka
off to
Bow
see the
Wow
wizard,
Toto.
wonderful Wizard of Oz.
I'm a muzzled dog on Wizard of Oz. She wants to go fishing with you, Scully. Scully. Thank you, Holly Dolly. Beetlejuice don't sound like that. Oh, shh, Amos. It does. It wasn't him singing. It was when they was around the table. It was the girl. She said, one step, two step, or something like that. And it, whatever. Deo, deo. Daylight comes. I want to go fishing with Pendle. That was awesome. Thank you.
No, you're
Busy.
welcome,
My name is
Samuel.
Izzy, not Busy. Huh? I lost a friend today, dear. Got a rejection letter. I might need one of your songs. Aw. Mountain Rain. You have a great channel, Scully. Enjoying it quite a bit. Great catch on that fish.
Hey, Mountain Rain. I've been enjoying your videos. Really, quite the artist. I'll go check out Mountain Rain.
Somebody drop Mountain Rain's link. Listen to me giving orders.
I'll make her a moderator. So.
He's gonna smack me around and say, everybody in your chat's moderator.
Yeah, well.
Busy Izzy.
I guess
It's
now they
raining.
got
Oh,
the,
it's raining
how
again.
do you call that? The managing moderator.
What
So
about it?
now everybody else can be the standard moderators.
Oh,
my
how many
gosh.
managing you got?
You know,
How many
back
you
in the
got managing?
day, I don't know, just you, I think. Back in the
Okay,
day,
so I was,
you didn't have to be put in the blue color to go to somebody's channel, you know? I don't know if you remember that. You could just hit the go-to and go to somebody's channel, but you know, most channels, I guess they turn people blue so they
thank you,
can
Sunshine.
network and stuff, you know, whatever, that's all good. But kind of defeats the purpose if everybody's blue, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Sunshine dropped
Well,
Mountain
I
Rain.
always knew they needed a managing moderator, but they should make you a different color, like red or something.
Well, you know, there's Kaz showed me a chat not too long ago before the managing and standard was offered to us, and she showed it to me that because they were bringing it forward. You know what she does.
Well,
So
maybe
they
they
were
were doing something in
beta
beta.
testing it. Yeah, and they were different colors. People in the chat were different. There was red ones. There was the green that, you know, that bought the membership. There was red. There
Yeah.
was blue. There was white. She didn't know what the red meant. She asked me. I said, I've never seen it before.
Cool.
Sunshine's a great link dropper.
Well, dang, we had a great show tonight. We're right at the 2-hour mark, so I think we'll go ahead and shut it down. And if anybody got here late, go back to the beginning, and you can also catch Izzy's live stream from earlier today, where she played the first half. But yeah, another wonderful production, you know, in the library. So, anything you want to add tonight, Izzy?
I just want to thank everybody that came out from my group that came out to, you know, and that's been subbed up to you, and I appreciate every one of them. I appreciate you, Mr. Scully.
And for those that have never been to Izzy's channel, she usually goes live every morning and have coffee with Izzy. And although her channel it's based on cats, it really has nothing to do with cats. But you can see for yourself. There's always a great crowd over there. Yeah, I think Izzy wanted to play my intro video tonight before we leave.
Members video. All right, tell me when you want to hit the button, and we shall sign off.
Yeah. So,
love you guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys. I'm Scully, the author that reads to you. I read my works. I have a couple of published novels. Dutch Coffee Shop, Laissez, Bon Temps Rouler is another one. Also read works out of the public domain or something that you may have written. I'll narrate it for you. So buckle your seatbelts. It's quite the ride, and we'll see you on the other side. Welcome to our exclusive membership program. Here you will find exclusive perks like special emojis and badges at all levels. First tier gets you access to the Tingle Room, where you can pop in some earbuds and experience ASMR magic and brain tingles like never before. Tier 2 allows you entrance into the library, where I will tell you fables and stories by the fireplace or in a winter storm. Here you will also find member-only live streams and access to the Tingle Room as well. Third tier takes you up to the observatory, where I meet with you or a group, helping you with graphic overlays, voiceovers, or anything else related to a professional channel. Of course, the observatory affords you all of the above-mentioned benefits. Becoming a member is a great compensation package to me because it helps with the financial end of this and gives you a little something extra for a fair price. It's going to be great seeing you in my chat all lit up in colors, with emojis and badges next to your name. And one more thing. Scuss.